Hey everybody, welcome back to the Dr. Bones Locker podcast. I am your one and only host, Jacob, for today. We've got a little bit of a different setup, but we're still doing it. This is the podcast where we take 5 minutes a day to review the daily webcomic A Pirate's Life by Jason Ball 34. Today we've got a one-paneler, and that's going to be two blob monsters sitting under a ship, and one of them says to the other, "I love your curves," and the caption is "Blob Monster Pickup Lines." Can we get a Peter Explains the Joke from Jacob? Yeah, in this, a pickup line is a line you use to pick someone up that you might want to go out with or sleep with or something. The blob monsters are made exclusively of curves. If you haven't viewed the comic, you should. However, they're just clouds of graphite on the page. So I love your curves is something that one human could potentially say to another, though it is a little bit forward, but so can a blob monster, because they're exclusively curves. We have previously discussed on the podcast that we thought that the legendary blob monster implied that there was only one, but this proves that there is at least in potentiam more than one. We don't actually know if this is a real situation that's happening, or more of it could be kind of a potential thing that could happen, but in theory there's more than one blob monster. This also proves that in theory they do not asexually reproduce. They I'm not sure the word for reproducing with more than one organism, but so this suggests that they're probably dimorphic sexually, so they have several sexes. Though that could be wrong. They could just require more than one and have them be the same sexes. I'm not super up on my reproductive chemistry or anatomy, so I can't go too far into that. Otherwise, we do see some potential here. They're under a ship, which could be one of the couple ships that we see in the comic, Admiral Bush's ship and the captain's ship. That means that potentially they're in some grave danger in the next couple days, depending on where Mr. Jason Ball 34 decides to go with this storyline. There's a potential for these blob monsters to maybe, I don't know, go on a date together, maybe eat the ship, maybe we lose a character for the first time in the comic, though I somehow doubt it. It would lose its comedic tone if we really lost a character, I think. Though I don't think I would be strictly against it. I think there could be some good storytelling implications. We could get more of a story-driven comic instead of the exclusively comedy bit that we've seen so far. What else is going on in this comic? There's really not a lot going on. This also suggests that blob monsters can speak. We've only seen them roar previously. But they can speak or communicate telepathically, communicate in some form that can be understood to other blob monsters. And maybe that's heard to humans as roaring. That has some potential. Other things going on in this comic. There's, as I said before, there's really not a lot going on here. I do enjoy seeing the blob monster come back for another comic. We got a full week out of that last time the blob monster came around. That last bit, it was a good week. And I'm glad to see that character come back. We talked a lot about on the podcast that week. We talked a lot about liking the blob monster character and wanting to see it more. And it seems that our dreams are being met. Our requests are being met by Jason Ball 34. And maybe we will see some storylines with this so-called blob monster, or maybe a Norse mythology frost giants versus gods, where the pirates are the gods and the blob monsters are the frost giants. I think that storyline has some potential. Though that is all up to Jason Ball 34. Of course, we're going on about 26 seconds left, and I'm really running out of stuff to talk about all here by myself. 18 seconds, and I'm gonna give this a rate. Maybe I'll go a little bit deeper into it. I like seeing the blob monsters come back, though I'm really not in love with the joke. So I'm thinking probably about a 7 on this one. So it's been good talking to you guys. Bye-bye.